NASA's Send Your Name to Mars program launched aboard Perseverance, carrying a set of etched microchips with the names of supporters. How many names were etched onto these silicon wafers? Was it A, 10,000, B, 100,000, C, 1 million, or D, 10 million names? I'm Lauren and welcome to That Quiz Show. The answer to our multiple choice question is D. Perseverance carries 3 silicon chips containing 10.9 million names of Mars enthusiasts from Earth, along with 150 essays from NASA's Name That Rover contest. That is a lot of information etched onto 3 tiny silicon wafers. If you want to be a NASA frequent flyer, you can sign up on their website. You can add your name to be etched onto silicon chips to be launched aboard future missions. If you had the correct answer, give yourself some fake internet points. Welcome back to That Quiz Show. Today's episode is another space quiz. For this episode, we are celebrating NASA's Perseverance rover that just landed on the Red Planet with a quiz all about NASA's Mars Rover program. We have 10 questions lined up for you. As always, we'll kick things off with 5 general knowledge questions about Perseverance, and then we'll move on to 5 questions that test how well you remember the earlier rovers from NASA's Mars missions. Are you ready to play? We're go for launch. Question number 1. How many wheels are there on NASA's Mars rover? All of NASA's rovers have the same number of wheels for off-road driving on Mars. How many wheels are there on NASA's Mars rover? Question number 2. NASA's robots replicate much of the human sensory experience on Mars. Dozens of cameras give the rovers sight, mechanical arms allow the rovers to touch, and chemical and mineral sensors allow the rovers to taste and smell the Martian environment. For the 2021 rover, what type of sensor did NASA add to Perseverance? For the 2021 rover, what type of sensor did NASA add to Perseverance? Question 3. NASA's engineers encoded a secret message into the design of the parachute that landed the Perseverance rover. What was the hidden message coded in the fabric of the parachute? What secret message was coded into the pattern of Perseverance's parachute? Number 4. NASA landed Perseverance in an ancient river delta just north of the Martian equator. What is the name of this landing site? Name the landing site for NASA's Perseverance rover. And question 5. Entry, descent, and landing together make up the most intense phase of the Mars rover's mission. Slamming on the brakes at 20,000 kilometers per hour and landing softly in a precise location takes some very, very careful planning. And all this is done autonomously by the lander. What nickname has NASA given to the autonomous entry, descent, and landing sequence of a Mars mission? What nickname has NASA given to the EDL sequence of a Mars mission? For the second half of this quiz, I will test your historical knowledge of the robots we've used to explore the Red Planet over the last 50 years. Working in chronological order, I'm going to ask you about Mars missions and see if you can name the robotic pioneers who explored the surface of Mars. We're going to start with a doozy from way back in the 1970s, so the questions will probably get a bit easier as we go. Question 6. Well, the US landed the first humans on the moon in 1969. The USSR was the first country to land a rover on Mars 3 years later in 1971. What was the name of the very first Mars rover? What was the name of the very first Mars rover? With the Pathfinder mission in 1997, NASA landed America's first rover on Mars. It was about the size of a microwave. What was the name for this tiny robot explorer? What was the name for NASA's first Mars rover? Question 8. In 2004, NASA landed a pair of rovers on the surface of Mars. What were their names? What were the names of NASA's 2 Mars rovers that landed in 2004? Question 9. In 2012, NASA successfully landed a car-sized rover on the Red Planet. What was the name for this mobile science lab? What was the name for the NASA Mars Rover from 2012? And our final question of the episode, number 10. By this point, we're all familiar with NASA's latest rover, Perseverance, but this mission actually includes a pair of robots. On the underside of the rover, there's a second rover, a small helicopter drone. What is the name for NASA's first ever Martian helicopter drone? What is the name for NASA's first flying rover? And here we are at the midpoint of the episode. If you're enjoying this Mars Rover quiz, then don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to see more space-themed trivia, click the bell icon too. Let's check our answers. Question number 1. How many wheels are there on NASA's Mars rovers? All of NASA's rovers have 6 titanium wheels, each powered by their own electric motor. The rovers can even steer with their front or rear wheels. Number 2. What type of sensor did NASA add to the Perseverance rover? The Perseverance rover will be the first Mars rover with ears. There are 2 scientific microphone arrays built into the rover. This is the first time ever that NASA will be able to record and broadcast sounds from the surface of Mars. This is not, however, the first time that NASA has tried to send microphones to Mars. The first microphone was aboard the failed Mars Polar Lander, which crashed during entry, and the second microphone was part of the Phoenix lander's EDL descent camera, but that mic was never activated. Question 3. What secret message was coded into the pattern on Perseverance's supersonic descent parachute? The colored stripes on the parachute spelled out "Dare Mighty Things," as well as the geolocation code for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory where the rover was built. This phrase has its origins from an 1899 speech by Theodore Roosevelt. The full text of the speech, titled "The Strenuous Life," is linked in the video description below. It's a good one, worth a read. Question 4. What is the name of the landing site for Perseverance? NASA chose Jezero Crater as the landing site for the Perseverance rover. There is geological evidence of an ancient river flowing into Jezero, which is likely to have been a habitable environment about 3.5 billion years ago. NASA has named the rover's precise touchdown coordinates as the Octavia E. Butler Landing in honor of the African-American science fiction author. And question 5. What nickname has NASA given to the autonomous entry, descent, and landing sequence of a Mars mission? NASA refers to this phase of a Mars mission as 7 minutes of terror, because it's the most perilous part of the mission and it's totally out of NASA's control. Due to the distance between the planets, by the time we receive the signal that the EDL sequence has started, the rover has already landed or has crashed into the surface of Mars. No pressure. And now, let's review our answers for the Mars Rover history questions. Let's see how well you know your Mars rovers. Question 6. What was the name for the very first Mars rover? As part of the Soviet Mars 3 lander, there was a tiny robot called the Prop M. Instead of wheels, it had skis and a 25-foot umbilical tethered to the lander platform. It operated for only about 20 seconds before an unknown failure. And here's a little video of the Prop M scooching along a fake Martian surface. Question 7. What was the name of NASA's first Mars rover? Sojourner was the first wheeled vehicle to explore another planet. It traveled a short distance of only 100 meters during its 83 days of service. It is named for the abolitionist and women's rights activist Sojourner Truth. Question 8. What are the names of NASA's 2 Mars rovers from 2004? 2 robotic geologists named Spirit and Opportunity landed on the opposite sides of the Red Planet in 2004. Each rover found evidence that Mars once had liquid water on its surface. They were designed to explore for only 90 days after landing, but they proved much more durable than their engineers could have imagined. Spirit lasted 6 years, while Opportunity spent almost 15 years exploring the surface of Mars before perishing in a global dust storm in 2018. Question 9. What was the name of the NASA Mars rover from 2012? This rover's name was Curiosity. It found evidence of ancient organic materials and a seasonal cycle of methane production that continues to this day. All of this suggests that the materials necessary for life to exist on Mars were present billions of years ago, and NASA is still studying whether the methane production comes from active biological life like microorganisms or from geological sources. And our final question of the episode, number 10. What is the name for NASA's first flying drone which landed with Perseverance? It's named Ingenuity, and it will be the first aircraft to attempt controlled flight on another planet. This is the second Wright brothers moment in human history. From that first flight at Kitty Hawk in 1902 to a test flight in Jezero Crater in 2021. Not bad for a little over a century of technological innovation. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of this quiz. Now add up your score and let me know in the comments how many fake internet points you've earned. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please help out the channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. All of these interactions help this channel grow. You can find us on social media at That Quiz Show. If you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can subscribe to us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, all of which are linked in the video description below. Make sure you're subscribed for fresh episodes and so you don't miss out on our upcoming live stream quizzes. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon with a fresh set of questions on That Quiz Show. Thanks for watching. Here's some additional episodes.